Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut. Welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video, and hit that subscribe button. As you know, Thursday is the Major League Baseball trading deadline, and we got a lot of names to go through, players that are on the trading block, players that have been traded. Names are starting to slowly come up the board, and we do have some major updates here, particularly in Cleveland. Let's start, and we got to start right away. Get this video. I'm trying to get this video on as quickly as possible on all the platforms, on X, on Facebook, and of course YouTube. The first name on the board, Sandy Alcántara, the Marlins ace. We've heard the Mets prominently the last couple of days. Boston, the Yankees, San Diego, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Texas Rangers, and the Cubs. Next up, Luis Robert Jr. We've heard Houston, Cincinnati, San Diego, San Francisco, Cleveland. But I think Cleveland is out. They're probably going to be selling now because of this whole situation with some of their pitchers. But the two teams I've heard today that are going to be competing are the Phillies and the Mets. Ryan Helsley. We've heard the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and we're hearing the Mets and the Yankees duking that out for that. Eric Feed got traded to the Braves. Why? I don't understand it, because he was DFA'd. There was no reason to make that deal. Was Billy Epler back there with as the general manager of the Braves? That's the kind of move he would make. Brandon Lowe. Heard the Seattle Mariners and the Mets, believe it or not. He had 30-something home runs a few years ago, 99 RBIs. I think that's kind of how the Mets look at him. And he is a free agent. You get him from the Rays. Dylan Cease, who did not pitch well against the Mets on Monday night, but we've heard the Mets. I would stay away from them. The Cubs, Boston, the Yankees, and Toronto. Jaron Duran, we'll see where he goes. I've heard San Diego and the Mets. Brian Reynolds, I've heard San Diego. Charlie Morton, I've heard the Cubs. It's with Baltimore. The Cubs, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, San Diego, and Boston. If he goes to another team, people say, oh, it's a great move. He goes to the Mets. Typical Mets move. They brought another little pitcher. Mets are going to Mets. That's what they'll say. Seth Lugo, re-signed. The Tampa Bay, re-signed with the Royals. Jake Bird, Seth Halverson, these are relievers. Joe Adell, I don't really have a name attached to him. Cedric Mullins, he's a free agent. I've heard the Mets, the Phillies, San Diego, San Francisco, Houston. I think Mullins is definitely going to get moved. They've already made the move, obviously. Soto got moved the other day. Gregory Soto got moved and got traded to the Mets. I expect that Mullins will be going too as a free agent. Kyle Finnegan, wide open. Freddie Peralta was on the board, but I don't think he's going to get moved with the Brewers having the best record. Tommy Pham, any team can pick him up. Ryan Ahern, I've heard Seattle, Kansas City, San Francisco, Houston. Although Kansas City could be out since they picked up Randall Krejcik. Detroit and Milwaukee. Luis Severino of the Athletics, the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and San Diego. Roldis Chapman, I don't know if he was sick or injured or what the other day, but any team would want him, but who knows if he's going to get moved. Trent Grisham, I've heard the Mets a little bad wouldn't do that. Ryan McMahon, trade to the Yankees. Josh Naylor, trade to the Mariners. Adolis Garcia, we've heard the Mets, but I don't think he's getting moved with the Rangers playing as well as they have lately. Eugenio Suarez got hit in the hand on Monday. He seems to be okay, no broken bones in his hand, but I've heard the Yankees, the Mets, Cincinnati, Boston, Angels, Houston, Philadelphia, Seattle, and the Tigers. Mitch Keller, let the buyer beware there. Do not give up major pieces for this guy. But I've heard the Cubs, the Mets, Minnesota, although Minnesota might be out, I would think. San Diego, the Yankees, Toronto, Boston, and the Dodgers. David Bednar, I do have an update, but I do not have the other teams. But I've heard Detroit, the Dodgers, and the Mets. Emmanuel Clase, one of the bigger names that was probably going to get moved, has been suspended very quickly, interestingly enough. We don't know what the situation is with him in terms of this whole thing with the gambling, but I know Ohtani did not get suspended under any circumstances. Andrew Haney, I've heard that the Blue Jays, the Yankees, Seattle, and the Cubs. Jeffrey Springs could go. Dennis Santana, I've seen Seattle and the Yankees. Marcell Ozuna saw with the Yankees. Mike Soroka, I saw Toronto. Herman Marquez, Aaron Savali, Nathan Lowe, Zach Littell, Zach Gallen for Texas, the Mets, Minnesota, the Angels, the Dodgers, and the Yankees. O'Neal Cruz because the Yankees can't get enough undisciplined, lack of fundamental players. But the Yankees are interested in O'Neal Cruz. Kenley Jansen, I would think the Phillies would be interested in him if the Yankees decide to sell. Sean Murphy, Brent Suter, I don't think he's going to get moved. Because the Reds are having a good year. Merrill Kelly, he's definitely going to get moved. Mets, Seattle, Toronto, Milwaukee, the Yankees, Dodgers, and the Cubs. He's a free agent. He's 37 years old. Even though I have Nolan Arenado on here, I don't think he can be moved because of the contract. He's not having a great year. Edward Cabrera for the Mets, the Padres, the Dodgers. I had Minnesota, but we'll take them off. And the Yankees. A bunch of teams will be interested in him. I'll put the Cubs down here too. Next up is Tomoyuki Sugano for Minnesota, the Cubs, Texas. I would also say the Dodgers, because why not? He's Japanese. And of course, San Diego, Stephen Kwan could be moved. There's belief that he's going to get moved. The Mets, the Dodgers, Toronto, Phillies, and San Diego. Just going to run through a couple names. Ramon Laureano, he moved. Johan Duran, I've heard the Phillies. Trevor Rogers, Felix Bautista. Starlin Marte, the only team I heard was Kansas City, but that might be out because Randall Krychek got traded to the Royals. Mark Vientos, I've heard the White Sox. Willie Castro, the Yankees. Raciel Iglesias, the Yankees. Harrison Bader, the Dodgers, the Texas Rangers, the Mets, and the Yankees. J.P. Sears could get moved. Adrian Hauser could be on the move. Pierce Johnson. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I've heard going back to the Phillies. Danny Colombe, Phil Maytone, K. Brian Hayes, Taj Bradley, Griffin Jacks, I've heard the Dodgers and the Mets. Mike Tauchman, I've heard the Houston Astros. Brendan Donovan, I've heard the Dodgers. Joe Ryan, Pete Fairbanks, the Toronto Blue Jays would be interested. Hai-Sung Kim, who plays with the Rays, I've heard the Yankees. Jose Cabrera, the Yankees. Taylor Wells, the Yankees. David Hamilton, the Yankees. Carlos Carrasco, another guy, DFA'd in the minor leagues, went to the Braves. Mackenzie Gore, I've heard the Mets and Toronto, a whole bunch of teams be in on him. Chris Paddock, straight to the Tigers. Dustin May, I've heard the Yankees, and believe it or not, Shane Bieber, who I think would go to a team that a mid-range team in a trade because he's just coming off of Tommy John surgery. So this is a quick update, as quick as I can get to you. In this 7 minutes and how many seconds, but I'll have more updates as we get close to the deadline, and I'll be live at the Baseball Hut on Thursday around a little bit before the deadline, a little after that. So, and that's at 6 p.m. And I want to thank you for coming by, and I'll see you later.